What is up, chocolatiers? I noticed that we're growing a lot on the channel recently, almost at 200 subscribers, so I just want to tell you guys real quickly, thank you so much for that. And without further ado, let's get right into the review. Just got done watching Presumed Innocent. Now, Presumed Innocent stars Ruth Negga, I believe that's how you say her name, and Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal stars as a character named Rusty McCoy, who is a prosecutor, and when his, I guess you'd call her a side piece, goes away because she's been murdered, he's on trial for the murder. Did he do it? Did he not? And that's the question that it takes all 8 episodes of this show to answer. Now, getting into it foremost, I want to talk about the plot before I get into the meat and bones of the show. So, plot-wise, it's structured as kind of like a whodunit. It's not one of these type of shows where it shows you, oh, he did it, he didn't. It doesn't show you much about the murder at all. It does tell you about some stuff. But pretty much everything that the characters know is what you know on face value. So everything that they say, that's exactly what you're going to know. And I really like that with this show because it keeps the pacing and the anxiety pretty high up in a show like this, because you don't know who's lying, you don't know who's telling the truth, you don't know what's the truth, and pretty much goes on from there. Because you'll have certain characters, and without spoilers, I'm not going to tell you who, but you'll have certain characters that have anger issues or do certain things that are kind of weird, like, oh, you was outside of this person's house at this time of night, you probably did it. And it really keeps you on your toes because you kind of swap with like this whodunit. You kind of go back and forth, and you kind of are like, oh, maybe it was this person, maybe it was that person, and you pretty much go on from there. Now, performance-wise, I want to say that Jake Gyllenhaal gives his all as always. Homeboy knows how to play a psychopath, from Ambulance to pretty much any movie he's in. If we're being honest, he knows how to flip that switch. Ambulance came close to mind because I actually just got done watching it, or clips of it, a while back, and just the way he can like convey that emotion of like, oh hey, to being like, oh shit, dude, I might, like, you know how he kind of like does like the little crazy eyes, little Jake Gyllenhaal eyes. I really like that. I think he was actually perfect for the role. At first, I was kind of contemplating. I was like, bro, they could have got anybody, but I know why they got him in particular. Now, this is an Apple TV show. I do want to clarify that too. And I think it was kind of funny that I finished it the other night, because Apple TV revealed to me and everybody else on Twitter that their views are down. And I kept sitting there thinking, why is that? They just make constant heat. I don't think I've watched an Apple TV show or movie that I've disliked. Even the stuff that I've been kind of mad about has still been like meh. Oh, that's a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Still really good. They got shows like Severance. They've got Morning Show. You know, stuff like that for All Mankind. We can keep going on down the list. Everything they make is really, really good. And I kept sitting there wondering why their views would be down, why they're going to cut costs on TV production and all this and that. And I kept sitting there thinking to myself, it's because of marketing. So, Presumed Innocent. I know we're getting off topic. I want to continue talking about the show, but I think I saw an ad for this show on my Fire TV, but I knew this show was coming, but I watch everything. That's different. I'm not the targeted demographic for this, okay? I'm going to watch it anyways. I already had it wrote down in my calendar. Presumed Innocent comes on this day on a Wednesday, okay? But I promise you, there's a show called Lady in the Lake that has Natalie freaking Portman in it, okay? I cut it on, I literally was looking tonight after I watched Presumed Innocent, and I was like, oh, that's out? No ads, anything. You go on YouTube. I can't even get the trailer to play for you guys for this review in the background because Apple will not let anybody else post the trailer. It's just only on there. They don't talk about it. It's like they spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on a show like this, but then they only spend like $7 on like marketing. You'll get an ad or two here and there, and that's it. Like, I remember like when The Boys came out, you kept getting ads and ads and ads and Prime. Like every time I got up on there, it was like, hey, Boys coming out, Boys coming out. You don't forget. And then every Monday before the show, they was dropping like little trailers and be like, hey, this episode, and like just the way they were marketing. And it makes me think about movies like Longlegs. Like how I know it's a movie, but still how that was marketed. Like it's like some movies just don't care. And now I want to real quickly get into the Borderlands film, because I don't know if you've noticed, that comes out August 9th. I forgot myself. No trailers, no footage. I don't care if it's bad. You can't just sit there and not market your film. It's not going to make any money. And so now back to Presumed Innocent. I'm just mad because I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be watching this movie, or show, my bad, because of that. It's only 8 episodes. From what I was told, it was a miniseries, but I was told the same thing with Dark Matter, and when I went to the end of the episode 8, it now says season finale, so I don't know if they're going to come back. I don't think they should. It's based on a book. It does have an ending. It answers all your questions, so don't be worried about there's no cliffhanger or anything like that. But that leads into my complaints. So I feel like where the ending kind of leaves me is very lacking in this show. When they answer your questions, you kind of go, it's not that you don't buy it, you do. It's not stupid or anything. It's just the way they present it, because they don't spend a whole lot of time with characters outside of Jake Gyllenhaal. His wife was really present in the first few episodes, but I feel like around episode 5, she kind of takes a dip, but she's like not really that far in it, if that makes sense. And so, out of an hour episode, you might only have her up in it for 10 minutes or less. A lot of times less. And whenever you get revelations about things and stuff but even like his family, he has, 2 kids, certain things like reactions and character stuff, I go, oh, I forgot they were there. I feel like they should have been a bigger part, or at least show me at least once a week that, hey, they're there. Like, I think at one point I completely forgot his son was even a character, because they make a big deal about something he did in one of the early episodes. It's really stupid. And I was like, oh man, I said, we put him on the radar. And then, I just completely forget that he had a son, because they just quit talking about him completely. He didn't leave. He didn't move. They're, in the same house. And I was like, oh, okay. And I would say that'd be, my only complaint, though. But, on a standpoint of just an Apple TV show, this is very good. You've got that budget. It kind of feels like that Gotham-esque feel. Every scene's really dim lit, or takes place in, the early morning. I don't think there's any scene that takes place in broad daylight. It's usually at nighttime or early in the morning. But I kind of like that, though, because it kind of gives a vibe to this show. I'll never forget some of the cinematography shots with, Jake Gyllenhaal watching the news or stuff like that in the morning. I really was vibing with that, really was liking that. But I do want to lead into one last complaint that I have about the show, and that is the case itself. Rusty has these 2 prosecutors that are after him that he used to work with, and they really don't like him. And I cannot stand these prosecutors, and I don't know how any of you guys could too. They are pricks, they're awful, they don't do half the research, half the set. They just automatically go, yep, you did it, we don't like you. And they chase him for it. And I get they're supposed to be unlikable, but in a show like this, I feel like they should show how the other side lives. Hey, this is why they're like this is why they don't like Rusty. They don't really get into that. They kind of tease some of that in the final episode, by the way. But they never really get into it. And I just feel like it was kind of hey, we just have villains just for villains' sake. I don't know if that's how the book is, but if it is, I don't really like that. But without saying that, if you like good law TV, like a little Law and Order, it's actually better than that. If you like stuff with a story, strong characters, and a strong lead with a decent case, I think it's going to be right down your alley. So overall, I am giving Presumed Innocent an 8 out of 10. I think it's very good. I think it's one of the best TV shows of the year. It's got a few problems, but not few and far between, if that makes sense. It's not enough where I'm pissed off, where I was mad. It was just kind of goofy things, but outside of that, did not take any of my excitement away, didn't take any of my enjoyment away. I think this show is very solid. If you have Apple TV, I think you should check it out. And if you don't have Apple TV, you should probably check it out, because they have other good content on there, like Severance, 10 out of 10 show. And with that, please like and subscribe for more. Thank you guys so much for the support. Almost 200 subs, like I said before. And with that, I will catch you guys on the next one.